Nderi next week. Lawyers Ahmed Nasir, Abdullahi, Paul Muite and Harun Ndumbi argue that the case to stop the strike is as a result of Justice Nduma's judgment and that he is best placed to determine the new development. Well, TSC is however opposed to the plea, arguing that the unions are playing games to delay the case. And our reporter Michelle Ngele is following the developments from Milimani Court. Thank you very much, Michelle, for joining us. Maybe you can just give us an update of what took place this afternoon and what this means to the case that the TSC had put before the court.
Thank you, Betty. Well, this was a hearing determined to determine the legality of the current teachers' strike in the country on the basis of non-payment or delayed payment of their salary increment. Now, as soon as the case began at 10 a.m. before Justice Abuoda, the Kenya National Union of Teachers, through its lawyer Paul Muite, requested that this case be handed back to Justice Nderi, who was the judge who had initially handled the case. And they say that they're doing this because they're avoiding divergent opinions by judges of the same court, saying that Justice Nderi has more facts and more background on this particular case. Now, after this, the case was adjourned, and the Justice Abuoda came back with the court's decision, and the decision was that this petition can be heard and will be heard by any member of this court, so it will not be handed over to Justice Nderi. Now, after that, there was a bit of controversy between the Teachers Service Commission and the Kenya National Union of Teachers. The TSC claims that this is an issue of national urgency, and what NAT is doing now is buying more time, asking for this case to be handed over to somebody else. They're buying more time, and they said that initially the Kenya National Union of Teachers had asked that this case be heard by more than one judge, and now they want to go back to be heard by only one judge. So this case will not be handed over. It will still be heard by Justice Abuoda. Now, the case has been moved to Tuesday next week, the 16th, where this hearing will be officially heard. Now, members of the Teachers Service Commission wanted the court to step in today and intervene and call this strike illegal today. Now, if the court had called this strike illegal, this would mean that the teachers would have to go back to school by Monday, whether they have been paid or not. Now, this is what will be determined on Tuesday, the 16th. Now, if the court rules in favor of the teachers will continue with their strike. But remember, there was a strike notice issued by the Central Organization of Trade Unions yesterday that should the government fail to pay teachers within 7 days, then there will be a mass boycott of NAT across the country. Betty.
Michelle, just before you leave us, so up until next week on Tuesday, the strike is still ongoing. Is that correct?
Absolutely, Betty. The strike was declared by this court as unprotected by law, but that does not mean that the strike is illegal. When we talk about a protected strike, it means that the employee is supposed to have given a 7-day notice to the employer, after which the employee would be entitled to pay during the days of the go-slow. But this particular strike is being termed as unprotected because no strike notice was given to the Teachers Service Commission, as they claim. And so because of that, the employer also has the power to take disciplinary action against the employee. And this is why we've been seeing the Teachers Service Commission issue threats that they will sack teachers who do not go back to work. And yesterday they did give 5,000 show cause letters to head teachers in schools across the country, asking them to show cause why they should not be fired. So yes, the strike is still on until Tuesday.
Just one more question, Michelle. The TSC had began reprimanding, teachers because of the strike, because of absconding duty. Do we know if this particular case will actually protect the teachers who have already been reprimanded?
Well, Betty, the Kenya National Union of Teachers, first of all, wants the court to completely disregard the Teachers Service Commission because they say that the latter is in contempt of court, and because of that, they should be denied audience in any court of law in the country until they obey the court order by the Supreme Court to give the teachers a 50 to 60% salary increase. And so the unions now are telling the members not to be cowed by the threats of the Teachers Service Commission because as of now, it is in contempt of court and has no power to threaten teachers.
Right. Thank you very much, Michelle Ngele, who's reporting on the ground from the Milimani Commercial Court, bringing us to us, up to speed with what has been taking place at the court. She tells us that the court case will not be handed over back to Justice Nduma Nderi as Nat had wanted. It's going to remain with the judge who's currently taking the case on. We'll be keeping an eye on that developing story for you. But there is also another developing story, and rape doctor Mugo Wairimu has been arrested. Mugo was arrested in a hotel in Limuru town in the company of 2 men. Well, he is currently being questioned at the administration police station in Tigoni. Police have been on his trail for the last 3 days after an expose on how he has been sexually assaulting women patients came to the fore on Sunday. We'll be getting more details to that report in our subsequent bulletins. That the government's latest onslaught on drug trafficking at the Kenyan coast may face serious hurdles in what appears to be uncoordinated efforts within security circles. Mombasa County Commissioner Nelson Marwa is blaming both the judiciary and some security chiefs for what he calls sleeping on the job. KTN's coast reporter Francis Ontoma with that report from Likoni.
Reports that some government officers will visit Chikadabu area in Likoni prompted 26-year-old Salim Mwamchera to make his way here for this public baraza called to focus on how to end the headache of drug abuse. He, together with others, tell me that he came with the hopes of getting assistance on the commencement of the rehabilitation. Apparently, however, it was another public baraza.
Asubuhi ile nikitoa loki naenda ujue saa 6 nje mvute, usiku lock up lazima mvute. Asubuhi naweza futa 500, sasa nikafuta 500, usiku nikafuta 500, na hiyo ni pesa yote ni lazima nitafute. Nimepata kwa njia ngumu, hard to get is to spend.
Salim is voicing what many other addicts will agree as being the real stumbling block to their turnaround.
Tuomba tupate madawa yale ya riabu ya kukata rosto, tuachane na maunga, na pia tutafute shughuli za kufanya kwa sababu iko pesa nyingi katika CDF ambayo pia yaliwa na wazee. Kazi kwa vijana, pesa zinaenda kwa wazee, ushaona.
Since President Uhuru Kenyatta engaged the latest gears to face the monster, efforts to wipe out drug peddling have gathered momentum. But if today's baraza is anything to go by, it is becoming clear structures to end the problem may be facing roadblocks within. This, as security chiefs at the coast cast aspersions on the commitment within.
Mimi unajua nawaambianga ukweli. Wapi hao hospitali mmeshika? Kuna record ya Likoni wale mmeshika hakuna. Hawa ni inspectorate wa governor Joe wameshika hao. Where are the hospitali? Wapi record yetu? Iko wapi? It's not there.
Nelson Marwa will reaffirm that the fight was going to be even more comprehensive to reach out to the nooks and cracks of the county.
Hapa Shikadabu hapa barabara ya mchanga, ukienda saizi vijana wako hapo. You mean how come mimi najua na niko town na nyinyi mko hapa hospitali hamjui? What's the problem?
Even as the government ups its calls for drug abusers to come forth, a program to rehabilitate them and assist them to gradually desert the old lifestyle is proving to be a mirage. Serious withdrawal effects are said to have taken a toll on most users willing to ditch the practice.
Hapa hawa ndugu zangu unaoona hapa ama ndugu zetu walioko hapa mbele yenu wameathirika na madawa ya kulevya, wanaomba msaada kutoka kwenu, mwasaidie haraka inavyowezekana ili wapate madawa waepukane na hili janga.
Why the dragnet always snares the law in the society and escapes the high and mighty is a question that even drug addicts are finding it difficult to comprehend. Reports say at least 42 people have so far been arrested in Mombasa in connection with drug trafficking.
Family yetu inko kembe magari, ni tudunge tukatafute, tukija tudunge tukatafute, shona. Sasa maisha yetu yanakuwa hivyo. Sasa nakwambia mwaka wa 6 uno.
Statistics by Nakada show that in Mombasa alone there are over 20,000 heroin addicts. Recently, a yacht impounded with heroin drugs worth 29 million Kenyan shillings in Kilifi was destroyed in the Indian Ocean, a trend that followed last year's similar exercise overseen by President Kenyatta. Critics, however, say the government should pound on the real perpetrators instead of targeting poor users. Francis Ontomwa, KTN News, Mombasa.
The African civil society has expressed disappointment over the postponement and relocation of the Africa Peer Review Mechanism Head of State and Government Forum to Addis Ababa that had been scheduled to take place in Nairobi this month. This follows a statement by State House that stated that this was done in order to give non-member states of the African Union an opportunity to participate. Civil society is, however, not buying this explanation and has called for further explanations and transparency on the matter.
It was expected to be held in Nairobi, Kenya on 11 September 2015. In doing so, President Kenyatta recognized that the APRM requires urgent and specific interventions which can only be addressed at an extraordinary summit. African civil society is extremely disappointed at the sudden, unexpected and unexplained cancellation of the summit. And we feel that there is a lot more to the story that needs to be told. We're not satisfied with the current explanation given, and we are asking for more transparency in the real reasons why this summit has been postponed or cancelled as we view it. However, we do note that there were a number of heads of state who had already committed to be in attendance. We also note that a lot of preparation had taken place for this summit and that it was at a very advanced stage. And this is why we question the reasoning given that more non-member states should be invited to join the meeting.
For us, as members of the civil society, and indeed consulting with civil society organizations both in Kenya and in other parts of the continent, civil society were very ready to participate in this summit. And so we hoped that this summit will accord an opportunity where we can renew the commitments and participation and indeed engagement with especially the state actors that have demonstrated, as I said earlier, very little interest in engaging with the civil society organizations, especially insofar as matters of political governance are concerned.
Kajiado County government has indefinitely closed the troubled Kangela market until further notice. This follows days of battles between traders and a local community over who should run the affairs of the market. This, as reports indicate, that 2 people were killed last night as rivalry between 2 communities of the area intensified. Well, our Ian Wafula is in Kangela now and now joins us live. Ian, thank you very much for joining us. Tell us more about this market being closed indefinitely. How did the leaders there come up with this decision?
Well, Betty, before I get into matters of the market, the latest update here is that around a number of suspects have been arrested here in Kangela over for inciting the ongoing demonstrations that we had over the past 2 days. Remember that a number of business operators here are counting losses. Remember, yesterday we had the Kangela Namanga road being closed for a number of hours, which affected a lot of traffic. Remember, this road joins Kenya and Tanzania, so there was a lot of interference there. So we shall be going to the police station where we shall see these suspects who've been arrested for inciting and being part of these demonstrations. Now, the reason that led to the closure of this particular market, in fact, where I'm standing right now is the market, and as you can see, there's a truck right behind me which was brought here. We have a number of GSU and administration police officers who are patrolling this particular market. This particular market is the bone of contention between inside the ongoing conflicts. We have a number of communities. If anything, Betty, the conflicts has turned into an ethnic-based conflict, because we're having the Maasai community who are saying that, look, this particular market belongs to our community. That is because we are the original, settlers of Kangela, and so they have been accused of viewing other communities as outsiders, and they're saying that they do not want the other communities here. But the other communities, especially, if I can just go ahead and mention the Kikuyus, Kamba and Luos, who are also business operators within this particular market, they're saying that they're Kenyans like any other, and they deserve to settle wherever within the borders of this particular county, within this particular country rather. So, Betty, this whole issue is just about the ethnicity, and also the Maasai community have been accused of saying that they want about 75% of the stalls within this particular market to be assigned to them, while the rest to the other communities. The leaders decided to close this particular market because now there was a lot of tension between the communities here. They had even threatened to fight. In fact, yesterday, the one person who was killed was from one of the communities, and he was killed because he confronted another person from the other community. And so this has been the issue that has been going on here, Betty.
Ian, we also understand that the Maasai community has given border operators an ultimatum to leave. Is that true? What can you tell us about that?
Yes, that is indeed true. In fact, when you talk to the border operators, you'll realize majority of them are very scared. They say that some of these people from the Maasai community, they claim that whenever they come into town, they're coming with, they're armed. In fact, some of them have been accused of carrying guns and threatening the border operators. Now, the Maasai community, some of the border of the Ngiki group, and they are hiding under the border business, and so they have given the border operators until Monday to vacate from from Kangela town. And so the border operators currently are very tension is high amongst them, and so they are not operating within their main stages, so they're operating just within the estates and away from town. Betty.
Right. Thank you very much, Ian Wafula, for that report. Is reporting to us live from Kangela, where of course the market has been closed indefinitely. We'll of course be keeping an eye on that developing story for you. But for now, we want to take a short break. But we'll be back with news that are from the business team, and of course the sports team has also lined up very interesting stories on the latest updates of what's happening in the world of sports. Stay with us. Welcome back to KTN Newsdesk. Let's just have a recap of our top stories this afternoon. And rape doctor Mugo Wairimu has been arrested. Well, he was arrested in a hotel in Limuru town in the company of 2 men, and he is currently being questioned at the administration police station in Tigoni. Police have been on his trail for the last 3 days after an expose on how he has been sexually assaulting women patients came to the fore on Sunday. We'll be keeping an eye on that story, but also something else in regard to the teachers' strike. And the teachers' union had asked the industrial court to change today's hearing in order to have it placed before Justice Nduma Underi, but this will not happen. However, the case has been taken to Tuesday next week, where that strike will be declared legal or illegal. Let's move on to some other interesting news that are coming to us. And Kenya is home to several prehistoric sites. But did you know that there are only a few archaeological materials that are found in their original location, or as experts would say, in situ? Well, in Nakuru County, the Kariandusi prehistoric site exhibits stone tools which were used by Homo erectus right where the early man left them hundreds of thousands of years ago.
Kenya has been described as the cradle of mankind, from famous archaeological discoveries such as the Turkana Boy, and with prehistoric sites scattered along the Rift Valley. The country has an archaeological treasure chest. But it is in Nakuru County that we find a unique peek into the operations of early man. Homo erectus, or the upright man, is said to have walked the earth some 700,000 to 1.4 million years ago. And in Nakuru, experts say there is evidence to prove that Homo erectus was actually here. Welcome to the Kariandusi prehistoric site, early man's stone factory site. But this site is unique. The stone tools are right where Homo erectus left them.
It's the only site that exhibits the Stone Age tradition in situ. As what I mean is that where the discovery was done.
The site was discovered in 1928 by Dr. Louis Leakey and was excavated from 1929 to 1931. And Homo erectus, a hunter and gatherer, had it all figured out when it came to tools for different purposes. To design tools, this was used, a hammer stone. Homo erectus also had a hand axe.
You see, it has a sharp point and a rounded butt. They are known as hand axes because prehistoric people were not fitting it to any handle. you are probably holding them directly this way. And they were used, or probably used, to extract roots underground, to dig up edible roots, or used as a weapon while hunting by drawing it in a discus style, aiming the sharp point to an animal.
The cleaver, which has two straight cutting edges, was used to cut meat into pieces or to scrap animal skin. The boulder stone too had its purpose.
Probably used to smash bones, to extract the bone marrows. And that has been found out because some of these boulders has been magnified, and they have been found that it contained traces of bones.
When making the tools, the flakes that came off the process did not go to waste.
So flakes were also applied in more delicate work like skinning. They use the flakes to remove the animal skin.
According to archaeologists, this area was once upon a time a settlement for early man. But rising water levels of the Nakuru, Naivasha and Elementaita lakes drove away the human ancestor from here and buried the tools which were left behind when Homo erectus left in a huff. At Kariandusi, you will also find the molar of a species of a straight-tusked elephant, now extinct. The prehistoric site holds a wealth of information on the journey of evolution and is a favorite for pupils, students and researchers.
And Kariandusi is one of the sites that they are able to see the particular stage where the Homo erectus, during the period of the Homo erectus and the tools it made.
The history lessons here come with some practicals on how to make stone tools just as early man did. The Kariandusi prehistoric site may hold the earliest evidence of man's ancestors, but it is not all about ancient life. The gorge at the site and the nearby area, which is said to have been covered by water some 1 million years ago, is now a diatomite mining area.
In that prehistoric lake, they derived millions of microscopic plants known as diatom. And when the plants were dying, the shells, the remains of those plants were gradually deposited in the bottom of the lake to compress and eventually form this white porous chalk-like material known as diatomite.
To the layman, a first glance at these stones and they would pass for just that, stones. But to archaeologists, paleontologists and geologists, these stone tools hold priceless clues that have over the years helped piece together the journey of evolution. Rita Tinina, KTN, at the Kariandusi prehistoric site, Nakuru County. Interesting piece there by Rita Tinina. Let's now move on to sports, and KPL has promised to tighten security during the highly anticipated Ulinzi Stars against Gor Mahia, a game that is slotted for this Sunday at Nakuru's Afraha Stadium. Speaking to the press this yesterday evening, after a meeting with officials from both clubs and security organs at Afraha Stadium, KPL Head of Technical Services, Safety and Security, GMT Otieno, said that everything has been put in place and the clubs have vowed to cooperate to ensure a smooth running of the game. Gor Mahia will be seeking to clinch their third successive league title against a closing in Ulinzi Stars, who take the 5 unbeaten league runs into the game.
This match is as any other match, even though Gor hopes that if they win it, they will be declared champions. But we want to appeal to the two clubs to treat this match as any other Premier League match, where nothing other than the 3 points is at stake. We are also appealing to the supporters of both teams, and especially Gor Mahia. It is not life and death. If they, by any chance, they lose the match to Ulinzi fairly, let them go home in peace.
We shall accept whatever the result will come, the outcome of the match. So we appeal to each and every one of us who are going to attend here the match on Sunday to come here, behave yourself. We shall accept whatever the result will come, the outcome of the match. So we appeal to each and every one of us who are going to attend here the match on Sunday to come here, behave yourself.
Right, and that's it for KTN Newsdesk Part 1. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Betty Kallo. Part 2 continues on KTN News channel. Thank you very much for watching. See you again soon.